All right, let's talk about angles. Vertical angles, adjacent angles. What's a linear pair? I know it wasn't in the section, but I think it's going to help a couple people out. Supplementary and complementary. Okay, so if you have this little cross section, if you ever see two lines making an X, vertical angles are going to be existing because vertical angles are the opposite angles. So this opening and this opening are vertical angles. Okay, they're also congruent, meaning they're equal. This one and this one are also congruent to each other. Okay? So that these opposite angles are called vertical angles, and they're congruent to each other, meaning they're equal. Adjacent angles are next to each other. So this angle and this angle, that angle and that angle, they're equal to each other. A linear pair means two. You see these two angles right here? If you put them together, they actually create this straight line here. If two angles come together to make a straight angle, they actually add up to 180 together. Okay? So, if this were like 100, I would know that one's 80. These two also make a straight line. So if that one's 80, this is 100. These two make a straight line. So those are called linear pairs when they're right next to each other and they add up to 180. It's called a linear pair. A pair of angles that make a line. Okay, so then we have supplementary and complementary. So supplementary, okay, are two angles that add up to 180. So if I said angle A and B are supplementary, I would know that 40 plus the mystery equals 180. So I can subtract that. I can subtract the 40 from both sides so that x equals 140. Now, if I say angle A and B are complementary, that means these two angles add up to 90. So I would write 40 plus x equals 90. So I subtract 40 from both sides, x equals 50. All right? So that's the difference between supplementary and complementary. Supplementary means the two angles add up to 180, like a linear pair. And complementary means the two angles add up to 90 degrees, which is a right angle. All right, let's scroll this up here. So every triangle adds up to 180. So this says 60, this says 40, and this is a mystery. So I know they all add up to 180. So I know that 40 plus 60 plus mystery equals 180. So I subtract the 40 and I subtract the 60, or I can put this together first and make 100 plus x equals 180. Subtract the 100 from both sides, x equals 80. Okay? All the angles inside of a triangle add up to 180. So in this situation, it's the same thing. Just because I wrote equations doesn't mean you can't add them up. So these three angles add up to 180. So I could write 2x plus x plus 5 plus 2x plus 15. So this angle plus that angle has to equal 180. So now I put the x's together. 2x, 1x, and 2x, that makes 5x. 5 and 15, that's going to make a 20. So then now I subtract 20 from both sides. And then I divide by 5 on both sides. X equals 32. All right? Now this one here is the exterior angle theorem. So I'm not going to do two examples like this one. I'll just do a basic one. But remember, whatever I write in these two, you have to know that these two add up to this one. Okay? So in this situation, 70 plus 40 equals the exterior angle, which is x. Okay? So this is the sum of the two interior angles it is not touching. So x equals 110, and you're done. If I write equations in here, just make sure you write the equations in the right place. Whatever's out here goes by itself. Whatever's in here has to be on this side together. Okay? Now, one of the last things we got to go over is how many degrees are in a heptagon. So we're going to use the formula n minus 2 multiplied by 180 to figure out how many degrees are in any shape. Any shape, as long as you know how many the sides it has. So we're going to use, so how many degrees are in a heptagon? So the formula we're going to use is n minus 2. Oh, I need this thing to hold it down. Okay, so I'll do it over here. So the formula I need is n minus 2 times 180. N stands for number of sides. So you have to know how many sides a heptagon has. A heptagon has 7 sides. So this is going to be 7 minus 2 times 180. So that's going to equal 900. So that's how many degrees are in a heptagon. 900 degrees. If you add up all the angles in a heptagon, it's going to equal 900 degrees. Okay? Now, what if I wanted every single angle in a regular heptagon? Regular means that all the shape, the entire shape has the same lengths on each side, and every single angle is exactly the same. Okay? So in this situation, we know that the total is 900, but every single angle is exactly the same. So I know that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 angles inside of a heptagon. So I'm going to divide it by 7. And then you'll get your final answer. So we'll round this to the whole number. So it's going to be 900 divided by 7. So it's going to be 1, 7, subtract 20. That's going to be 2, 14. That's a 6. That's a 60. That's going to leave us at 8. That's 56. And that's a 4. So that's going to be 5. So it's going to be 128. Oh, sorry, I was off camera. So it's going to be 128.5. So that's going to be 129. So we're going to say 129. My God, my camera's moving around too much. Okay. So 129. I know that every single angle is 129. Even that one. So I know that 2x equals 129. So if I divide both sides by 2, x is going to equal 64.5. And that's it. Hopefully my camera work wasn't too crazy. See you guys.